Hi there, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we're challenging strength and coordination using the Swiss ball. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class, placing one foot on the wall behind you, with enough room to take a lunge step back, frontwards and backwards. So set yourself up more or less in the middle of the mat. Just place the bridge of one foot softly onto the Swiss ball behind you. Stand up nice and tall. You're going to think of taking a modified lunge back. Press down with the bridge of your foot into the ball, bend the lead leg and just slide the ball back. Maybe floating both hands out in front of you to just find your sense of balance on the ball. You're going to play with that movement dynamically, trying to keep nice and even through the shoulders and the hips as you do so. Let's do one more like this and then we'll change it up slightly. Come back to your start position. Start with your right knee just behind your hip line on the right. Then think of pulling the knee in as if you wanted to tuck it towards your hip and back to your start position. One more time. And then we're going to combine those two movements together. You're going to give me a lunge back and then think knee to nose. We're just going to do 5 of those. Lunge back. And then think of pulling the knee in past your hip line. Once you've done 5, you're going to change your orientation on the mat and you're going to bring the ball in front of you. You're going to place your right foot onto the ball. Start with the whole foot, pressing down softly into the ball. You're going to kick the ball away from you so that just the heel of your foot is connected to the ball with the toes looking up to the sky. And then you're going to slowly draw it back. Try to come almost onto the tip of your toe and find a little contraction in the core. Keep kicking the ball away and then drawing it back, trying to almost balance on the tip of your toes. Stand up as tall as you can. Keep your shoulders, your hips, your knees, your ankles stacked on the stabilizing side. And then let's change it up. You're going to end with the ball extended. All 5 toes of your extended leg that are on the ball are looking to the wall in front of you. Then you're going to change the setup frame on your stabilizing leg and you're going to come into a little L shape through your legs. Toes are still looking to the wall in front of you on your extended leg. Place your hands on your hips. Draw the ball back and extend. Keep syncing your movement to your breath. Let's do 2 more. Last one. You're going to take a little step towards the back end of the mat with a little bit of runway in front of you and then open up your feet wide so that it feels like your pinky toes are on the outer quadrant of the mat. You're going to place your Swiss ball in front of you with just your fingertips softly connected to the ball. Think of a plank walkout. This is a modification on a plank walkout. You're going to softly roll the ball forward. You're going to tip your weight forward. You're going to press down through the forearms, lean forward, coming into a tiptoe position Pushing off your toes, leaning into the ball, feeling that contraction in the core, and then you're going to bleed your way back to your start position. All the way onto the tips of your toes, and then draw back. Trying to keep nice and even on the ball. Look for that contraction in the core as you lean all the weight forward into the forearms, almost as if you were coming into a dolphin pose on the ball. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, and no rushing on the ball today. Just look for that loading, strengthening your body at the same time, working on your balance and your coordination. Last one. From here, you're going to come into a kneeling frame behind your ball. We'll work modified kneeling up dog. You're going to start with your forearms softly pressed into the ball. You're going to lean forward, getting a little stretch into the lower belly, and draw back to your start position. Let's do 5 more. Keep pushing off your forearms, and as you lean forward, try not to collapse through the shoulders. You're strong through the arms, strong through the core. You're going to end leaning forward, and then with your elbows, you're going to trace a little circular pattern, firing through the obliques, tracing a few circular releases in one direction, and then changing it up and moving in the opposite direction. Keep your core braced. Then softly draw back into a high kneeling frame. Make sure you've got your shoulders, your hips, and your knees stacked. You're going to grasp the ball between your 2 palms and float the ball overhead. Take a big inhale in. Exhale, peel just off the center line to one side, hold. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Peel back. Try to keep that nice tall stack. I want you to feel a delicious stretch up the side of your rib cage as you stretch off the center line to one side. Keep pressing softly with both palms into the ball. Keep that nice tall stack. Move with your breath. Exhale as you peel off the center line. Inhale to come back. One more to each side. Then float the ball out in front of you so that your hands are more or less in line with your shoulders. On an exhale, twist off the center line to one side. Come back to the middle, lift the ball overhead, and back to your start position. Twist to the other side. Back to center, overhead, back to start. Exhale to twist, come back to the midline, overhead, back to your start position, twist. Keep moving with your breath, twist, center, overhead, center, twist, center, overhead, center, twist, center, overhead, center, twist, center. Let's do one more set. So each side, and then we'll work a modified cobra. As you draw back to the center line, place your ball on the mat and think of wrapping your belly around the ball. Extend your arms out in front of you. Palms are looking up to the ceiling, and then make a little fist with your thumbs looking up like a little hitchhiker out to the side of the room. Clip the two hands together as if you wanted to fuse the two pinkies together, and just softly extend the arms in front of you. Then extend out one leg at a time, just making sure you've got enough runway on the mat. You're going to start with your chest nice and heavy into the ball, and then think of working a modified chest using your back extenders to float up, making a soft, almost T-frame with your arms, and then tap back to your start position. So you start with the chest relatively heavy into the ball, and then you float up thinking cobra line, using your back muscles all the way from the lower back, bleeding up towards the shoulder blades to peel up into your little cobra. Think of it as a baby cobra. Maybe inhaling as you come up, and then maybe softly exhaling as you come back down. Let's do one more. And then as you come down on the last one, you're going to change your setup on the ball, and you're going to swivel around, taking a seat on the ball. We're going to play up a little crunch line. Start with your feet comfortably anchored into the mat. Take a wide stance, and then just cross your arms, one wrist over the other, making a little fist with the hands. Make sure you've got a little bit of runway in front of you. You're going to curl the tailbone in, start rounding out your back, and you're going to roll the ball back as far as your shoulder blades and your mid-back, and then float back up to your start position. Find your little crunch first. Then once you've found the crunch, every time you sit up, see if you can bleed up onto the tips of your toes and work those calves. Then flatten the foot. Come back into your little crunch. Peel back up, all the way onto the toes. I really want you to feel those calves, so I want you to make a nice little tennis ball with your calves as you peel up onto the tips of your toes. Look for that contraction in your core as you roll down and back up. Let's do one more. And then as you bleed back up after your last one, you're going to swivel around and you're going to set yourself up in a plank line on the ball. So feet are connected to the ball. If a foot plank is too much for you, you can bring up the ball higher ball either underneath your shins or the tops of your thighs. Find your foot or your leg placement on the ball. Push down, anchor into the ball and hold for 10 seconds as strong as you can. Nice and strong through the arms, nice and strong through the belly. 5, 4, 3, 2. Then keeping that contraction through the core, draw the knees in towards the chest and hold for a further 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Carefully step off the ball. Come back to your original start position on the mat, this time placing your left foot onto the ball. Find your balance. So take a moment if you need to. If you need to, you can even lean your fingertips against the wall if you need to. All right, we're going to come into that little lunge line. And you might need to readjust the ball after the first one. When you're ready, you're going to bend the lead leg and you're going to slide the ball back to come back to your start position. Allowing the ball to run along the shin of the back leg as you lean forward, maybe floating both arms out in front of you to help with your sense of balance. Shooting for maybe 5 repetitions, then come back to your start position. Start with the left knee just behind your hip line. Then think of drawing the knee through the hip line as if you wanted to tuck it towards your nose. Shoot for 5 little knee draws. And then think of combining the 2 movements together. So you're going to give me a lunge back and then a knee draw. Lunge back, knee draw. Lunge back, knee draw. One more. And then we'll change our orientation slightly. Bring the ball in front of you. Place the left foot on the ball. Think of yourself as Captain Morgan. All right, you can place your hands on your hips if you like, or just keep the arms soft at your side. You're going to kick or extend the leg and then draw back, trying to almost come onto the tips of your toes as you draw the ball back. Bending and extending through that left leg. Let's do one more. And you're going to end with the ball extended. So toes of your extended leg are looking to the wall in front of you, and then change your setup on your stabilizing leg and point those toes at 90. Then thinking Captain Morgan, you're going to draw the ball towards you and back to your extended leg line. So you've got one set of toes, your stabilizing toes that are looking to the wall at the side of you. And then one set of toes are looking towards the front of your mat. That's the leg that's on the ball. All right. Once you've completed your last set, set yourself up with a little bit of runway in front of you. Step your feet wide so that you're on the outer quadrant of the mat. And we're going to work that modified plank walkout. So standing up nice and tall with maybe just your fingertips connected to the ball. You're going to start leaning forward with your weight. You're going to make your way onto the forearms. You're going to use your core to peel all the way up into the very tips of your toes and working as slowly as you can so that you're really challenging your sense of control with the ball. Don't rush this one. The slower you're working, the harder you're going to be working. Think of it as a modified dolphin or quarter dog using the Swiss ball. Let's shoot for at least 2 more. Last one, and then we'll find our way from here into a kneeling frame once we've completed the last one. Find your way into a kneel behind the ball. You're going to think modified up dog. Start by just gently placing your elbows into the ball and then leaning your weight forward and drawing back to your start position. So you're in a modified 4-point kneel to begin with your elbows on the ball, and then lean forward, pushing off your elbows, your forearms, strong through the shoulders, strong through the core. Your inner thighs are also working, and you're getting a nice stretch into the lower belly and the tops of your thighs. Keep strong through your core. Last one. You're going to end leaning forward, and then you're going to keep that kneeling up dog position as you use your elbows and your forearms to trace a circular pattern in one direction, slow and controlled, starting to fire through the obliques. Trace a few patterns in one direction, and then when you're ready, change it up and move in the opposite direction. Strong through the core, strong through the shoulders the whole time. Lead your way from here back to center. Find a nice high kneel, shoulders, hips, knees stacked. You're going to float the ball overhead, squeezing into it as you take a little gentle palm tree sway side to side. Not rushing it. So think of a slow moving metronome as you tick-tock side to side. Keep squeezing softly into the ball so that you can feel your arms working, chest working, upper back all connected. Then peel the ball down so that it's more or less in line with your head. You're going to twist off to the center line, come back, float the ball overhead, center, twist, center, overhead, center, twist, center, overhead, center. Keep playing with that movement. Keep that nice tall stack. So even though you're in a kneeling frame over here, you're gently thinking of almost squeezing the energy between the inner thighs together as if you had a yoga block sandwiched between your two thighs and you were squeezing into it, and you're pulling up the whole time on an imaginary zip from the pubic bone towards your belly line. One more to each side, and then we'll work that modified cobra line from here. Place the ball on the mat. Just make sure you've got enough room to extend the legs behind you. So creep forward if you need to. Wrap yourself, your belly, around the ball and extend the arms out in front, palms looking up to the ceiling. Make a little fist, thumbs are looking out, and connect the side of the two hands together as if you wanted to sandwich the pinkies together. Then step back one leg at a time. You're going to use your back extenders. Think swan or cobra, peeling up off the ball and then coming back to your start position. As you peel up through the back, you float the arms out wide and then you tap them together as you come back down. Let's do one more, and then we're going to change our orientation on the ball, and you're going to set yourself up in a seated frame. So you're going to flip around. We're going to find that modified crunch. Put a little bit of work into the calves as we play. Find your seat, feet nice and wide, feet active, inner thighs active. Cross the arms in front of your chest. Leading with the tailbone. You're going to round out, think of connecting your mid-back and maybe stopping just before the shoulders and then curling back up. As you sit up tall, bring it onto the very tips of your toes, pausing there and looking for that little tennis ball in the calves as you float up and disconnect the heels from the mat. Let's do one more, and then we'll change our orientation on the ball, and we'll set ourselves up in that plank line. Pick the ball position on the leg. So ball either under the bridges of your feet or the shin bone or the top of your thighs, depending on where you feel the most stable, but make sure that your core is working. Find your way onto the ball. Stabilize and hold strong for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Draw the knees in towards the nose and hold for a further 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Ease your way from here into a seated frame. Think staff pose, seating yourself towards the top end of the mat. And we're going to do a little play up on a roll down, adding a pass over. So make sure that you've got room enough for the ball in front of your mat and room enough for the ball behind your mat. All right, find your staff pose, sitting up nice and tall, squeezing actively into the ball. Feet are open and in parallel, and they're active, they're braced. Take a big breath in, nod your chin to your chest, peel down into one roll down. And then from this position, you're going to do a ball pass over from the hands to the legs, floating your legs to 90, coming back into extension, hovering the arms and the legs just off the mat. Pass back. One more time. You're going to end with the ball between your hands. And then you're going to roll it back up. So roll it down. Do a pass over to the feet. Back to the hands. And roll it back up. Roll it down. One pass over set. So hands to feet. And then back to hands. Roll it up. Let's do one last one. Pass over, hands to feet, back to hands, and then on this round, back to feet, end with the ball between your feet. Then flip over onto your side, ball is still grasped between your feet. Just find a comfortable stack. Think shoulders, hips, ankles stacked. You're going to brace your top hand softly into the floor, and you're going to lift and lower that ball, trying to hover your bottom leg just off the mat. You're going to shoot for between 5 and 10 little side lifts. Getting a bit risky on the mat today. Then roll back over onto your back. As you do so, just pass the ball back to your hands. And we're going to come into a modified double leg stretch. Scoop to peel up off your shoulders, tapping the ball to your knees, and then keeping that scoop position, open up into a little V. And every time you tuck back in, tap the ball to your knees. Two more. Draw your legs into table. Relax your shoulders and your head to the mat. Ball is floating overhead. Clip the feet and the knees together if you can. We're going to tick-tock with the legs, locking the ball into position. You're going to drop your knees just off center to one side. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, take it to the other side. And it's not a huge drop, just enough to fire those obliques. Let's do one more tick-tock to each side. Come back to center, scoop to peel up off the shoulders, tap the ball to both knees and hold that contraction for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Peel your head and your shoulders back to the mat. We're going to set ourselves up from here for a modified dead bug. Extend your right leg so that your shin bone is pressing into the ball, and then reposition your left hand so that you're pushing with your left palm into the ball. Then you're going to float the right arm and the left leg off the floor. Then change sides. Pressing into the ball with the opposite arm and leg as you hover the other two limbs softly just off the floor. Make sure you're pressing opposite hand and foot into the ball. So you feel a nice bit of work through the core. Let's do one more set on each side. Then you're going to think of coming into a double dead bug hold, scooping to peel up off the shoulders, pushing both shins and both palms into the ball and holding for a soft count of 10. Then relaxing your head and your shoulders to the mat, holding onto the ball with your hands, hovering it overhead. You're going to brace softly into your feet. Your feet are more or less at 90. You're going to give me a halfway drop with the legs extended and then draw back to your start position. Squeeze into the ball, just a halfway drop and back to start. Use your core. As slowly as you can as you draw the knees back, or rather the legs back to your start position. Then bend the knees from the tabletop position. Give me a halfway drop and back to start. Halfway drop, back to start. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll work a modified bridge line from here. So as you complete the last one, keeping your knees bent, connect the soles of the feet. The ball, you can just drop the ball to the top of your thighs or maybe softly tapping your knees. Make sure that your feet are not too far away from your bum. We're going to articulate up into a bridge line and we're going to tap the ball behind us. So begin in neutral spine, tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock, imprint your lower back. As you start peeling up into your bridge line, you begin floating the ball overhead to tap it to the floor behind you. Just make sure you've got enough runway to play. And then slowly bring it back down to your start position. We're just going to do 3 bridges like this. Peeling up nice and high, tapping the ball to the floor behind you, and then softly floating it back to your start position. Once you've done your 3rd bridge, you're going to extend the legs out in front. Maybe begin with the ball overhead. You're going to brace into your feet, squeeze through the inner thighs. Inhale, halfway lift, peel up into your high seat. Give me 1 roll down. You're going to pass the ball from the hands to the feet. Back to the hands. Roll up. Roll it down. Ball pass over from the hands to the feet. From the feet to the hands. 1 roll up. Roll it down. Pass over. In with the ball in your hands. Roll it up. Then pass the ball to your feet. You're going to flip over, stacking your body as best you can, bracing into the fingertips of your top hand. You're going to lift and lower the ball, shooting for as close to 10 lifts as you can manage. Then roll over onto your back. Pass the ball to your hands. You're going to scoop to peel up off the shoulders. We're working a double leg stretch. You're going to extend the arms and the legs to 90 and then tap the ball back as you draw the knees back into the tabletop position. Two more. As you complete your last one, drop the head and the shoulders to the mat and draw your legs into a soft tabletop. We're going to tick-tock through the knees. Drop your knees just off center to one side. Inhale to come back. Take it to the other side. So the ball is not moving at all. You've dropped and you've anchored your shoulders into the mat and you're keeping them anchored into the mat as you play with that tick-tock through the knees. Let's do one more to each side. As you complete your last set, you're going to scoop to peel up off the shoulders. You're going to tap the ball to the knees. You're going to hold that contraction for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. You're going to slowly peel down to the mat, and we're going to set up that dead bug. So let's extend the left leg, and you're going to press the right palm into the ball, and you're going to extend and hover the opposite two limbs just off the mat. Then you're going to change sides. So you're pressing into the ball with the shin bone and the palm. Make sure you're working opposite sides of the body. So opposite shin bone and palm pressing into the ball, and then try to hover the other two sets of limbs just off the mat. Keep your chin and your jawline soft. Try not to tense. Keep the work in your core. All right, then double dead bug. So press both shins, press both palms, scoop to peel up off the shoulders, maybe looking towards your pubis as you hold for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Connect your head and your shoulders to the mat. Hold onto the ball, anchor your shoulders into the mat, extend your legs to 90, brace softly into the feet, give me a halfway drop, and slowly draw back. Halfway drop, slowly draw back. Halfway drop, slowly draw back. One more like this, then we'll bend the knees. Come into a tabletop position. Drop your toes halfway to the floor and draw back. Halfway to the floor and back. Ball is not moving. You're anchored with the ball floating above your head. Shoulder blades are grounded into the mat. Last one. Drop your feet all the way to the mat. This time you're going to set up your bridge line. Maybe just relax the ball to the tops of your legs. Make sure you've got enough room to tap the ball to the mat behind you. So you might need to readjust after the first one, if you're working in a confined space. All right, big breath in. You're going to tilt the pelvis, imprint your lower back as you peel up into the bridge, float the ball overhead, tap it to the floor behind you, and then slowly bring everything back to the mat. Just going to shoot for 3 floating bridges. Whole time you're squeezing into the ball with your hands. Peel your way back, and once you've completed your last bridge, you're going to change your setup frame on the mat. Make sure you've got enough room to extend the legs out all the way into an inverted plank. All right, start by just walking the ball into the back of your thighs. Arms are soft and relaxed at your side. When you're ready for your inverted plank, you're going to walk the ball up, stopping when you've just got your heels still connected to the ball and the toes are looking up to the sky. Arms are long and relaxed at your side, palms down. You're going to press into your palms, you're going to push down through the heels of your feet, and you're going to pike your hips up to the ceiling, coming into an inverted plank hold, and you're going to hold for a slow count of 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Slowly lower yourself back down to the mat. Walk the ball into recovery, and then we'll work a modified A-line stretch. So keep gripping the ball with your left calf and foot so that it's flush against the left hamstring, and extend the right leg up, kicking the ceiling away, holding that stretch. Just using your core to kick the foot straight up to the ceiling. Holding for maybe a slow count of 10. Then gently change sides. Grip the ball with your right leg and kick and extend the left leg up to the ceiling for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Find your way back to the ball. Maybe just relax for a moment or two before walking back out into your inverted plank line, and we'll do a single leg lift and hold on each side. Walk your ball up. Push up into your inverted plank. Stay here, or see if you can lift and float the right leg just off the ball. Just hover it an inch or two above. Keep piking those hips up nice and high. Come back to the ball. Relax your bum back down to the mat. Walk the ball into recovery. Grip tight on the left. Extend into that A-line kick on side 1. Then see if you can wrap your hands around the back of your thigh and start working with more resistance. So with the back of your hands, you're pulling the leg in towards your chest, and with the leg, you're resisting slightly. Keep your foot active, so kick the ceiling away. Then relax that grip and change sides. So squeezing the ball into the back of your right thigh, extend the left leg up to the sky. See if you can wrap your hands around the back of the thigh. Pulling with the back of your hands, resisting with the hamstring. Keeping your foot active and bracing as if you were trying to kick the ceiling away. Find your way back into recovery with both legs just softly draped around the back of the ball. Give yourself a recovery breath or two. And we're going to work that one-legged inverted plank on side 2. Walk the ball away. Balancing on your heels. Push off your palms, push off the heels of your feet. Pike your hips up to the ceiling. Anchor down through the right and see if you can hover the left foot off the ball. Holding for a slow count of 10. Then re-anchor to the ball. Bring your body back down to the mat. Walk the ball into recovery. Extend the left leg up to the sky. Or let's start right again. So extend the right leg up. Wrap around the back of your thigh. And then scoop to peel up off the shoulders and see if you can walk or slide your hands up the back chain of the leg, trying to peel closer towards your ankle line as you hold that contraction. Then bleed everything back down to recovery and try the same on side 2. So gripping on the right, extend the left leg up to the sky, wrap your hands around the back of the thigh. Then scoop to peel up off the shoulders, bleed up, Look for that contraction in the core. Float everything softly back down to recovery. Give yourself a moment or two. We're going to come into one last inverted plank, and we'll bend and extend dynamically through the knees just for 5 sets. All right, so when you're ready, walk the ball up, balancing on the heels of your feet. You're going to push up through the heels and your palms, and you're going to pike up into your inverted plank. And then keeping that height through the hips. You're going to bend the knees, coming to rest on the soles of your feet, and then extend back out. You're going to do that 5 times. Keep your chin softly tucked towards your chest. Try not to look to the side of the room. When you've done 5, you're going to bleed your way softly into recovery. Just draping softly around the ball. Come into almost a Shavasana-like position here. Arms are relaxed at your side. And you're just resting the weight of your legs nice and heavy into the ball. Then actively grip the ball with your calves. Squeeze it into the back of your thighs. Scoop to peel up. Trying to brace around your knees and hugging that ball in as tight as you can behind your thighs. Finding a little soft contraction in your core. Hold for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Gently bring it back into your modified Shavasana. Lying on your back, arms softly draped to the mat. Feet are soft and relaxed. Calves, shin bones, thighs are soft and heavy into the ball. Just take a couple of time out breaths here. Keeping your inhalations and your exhalations long, soft and relaxed. And just allow yourself to bliss out for a few moments. Then close off your playtime today by just bringing your hands together in prayer, thanking yourself for making time to come and work out on the mat today. I do hope that you enjoyed that workout. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Shoot me your comments below. Make sure that your notifications for this channel are always on. And be ready for playtime on the mat tomorrow. Till then, keep it light.